Idiom spill the beans. What it means to disclose confidential or hidden information. For example, she spilled the beans about their engagement. Once in a blue moon. What it means? Very rarely, not often at all. For example, my childhood friend and I catch up once in a blue moon, but it is always special. Cost an arm and a leg. What it means? Extremely expensive or costly. For example, that designer handbag cost an arm and a leg. Under the weather. What it means? Feeling unwell or slightly sick. For example, I am staying home today. I am feeling a bit under the weather. Elephant in the room. What it means? A major problem or controversial issues that is being ignored. For example, everyone was discussing minor issues, but no one mentioned the elephant in the room, the budget cuts. Hit the sack. What it means? To go to bed or go to sleep. For example, I am exhausted. Time to hit the sack. Cry over spilled milk. What it means? To be upset about something that has already happened and can't be changed. For example, we missed the deadline, but instead of crying over spilled milk, let's focus on fixing it. Have a chip on your shoulder. What it means? To hold a grudge or be easily offended due to past experiences. For example, ever since he did not get the promotion, he is had a chip on his shoulder and argues with everyone. Face the music. What it means? To accept the consequences of one's actions, especially something unpleasant. For example, he did not study for the test and had to face the music when the results came out. Butterflies in your stomach. What it means? Feeling nervous or anxious usually before an important event. For example, I had butterflies in my stomach before going on stage. Devil's advocate. What it means? A person who argues a contrary position for the sake of discussion. For example, I will play devil's advocate here and question the plan is feasibility. Bite off more than you can chew. What it means? To take on more than you can handle. For example, I think I bite off more than I could chew with this project. Let sleeping dogs lie. What it means? To avoid bringing up old conflicts or issues. For example, instead of arguing about who was right in that old disagreement, we decided to let sleeping dogs lie. Back to the drawing board. What it means? To start over with a new plan after a failure. For example, that idea did not work. Back to the drawing board. The ball is in your court. What it means? It is your turn to take action or make a decision. For example, I have done all I can. The ball is in your court now. Go to the extra mile. What it means? To put in more effort than what is expected. For example, he goes the extra mile to make his customers happy. Piece of cake. What it means? Something that is very easy to do. For example, the exam was a piece of cake. Burn the midnight oil. What it means? To work late into the night. For example, she burned the midnight oil to finish her project on time. Add fuel to the fire. What it means? To make a bad situation worse. For example, bringing up past arguments during a fight only adds fuel to the fire. Cut to the chase. What it means? To get straight to the point, avoiding unnecessary details. For example, let's cut to the chase. What do you really want? Bite the bullet. What it means? To endure a painful or difficult situation with courage. For example, I hate going to the dentist, but I had to bite the bullet and schedule the appointment. Hit the nail on the head. What it means? To describe or identify something with the total accuracy. For example, she hit the nail on the head when she said we needed better communication. Break a leg. what it means, a way to wish someone good luck, especially before a performance. For example, break a leg tonight, your audition will be amazing. Break the ice, what it means, to relieve tension or awkwardness, especially in a social setting where people are unfamiliar with each other. For example, to break the ice at the meeting, she started with a light-hearted story. Let the cat out of the bag. What it means, to accidentally reveal a secret or surprise before it is intended. For example, he let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. Thank you.